employee. Just go to innovationrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, answer a few questions. No risk, high reward, innovationrefunds.com.
Summer fun rolls on at San Manuel Casino. Every Thursday in August, San Manuel is giving away a 2021 Maserati Ghibli Trofeo or up to $100,000 in cash. That's right, you could drive away in a new car or cash each week. Earn entries using your Club Serrano card each time you play, and you could be one of our lucky grand prize winners. Catch the thrills all month long at SoCal's #1 casino, San Manuel. Details at sanmanuel.com. Must be 21. Please gamble responsibly.
Looking to save money this year? Look at Allstate. You can get the protection you need at the low rate you want. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Have a plumbing, water heater issue? Call the Smell Good Plumber, 800-446-MIKE. For official rules and more information about contests on this station, go to KFIAM640.com/rules.
Live and local.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI live everywhere on the iHeart app. It's the Bill Handel Show. Bill at home now, out of the hospital, recovering from that heart valve replacement surgery. We'll see if he's available later to pop on the show for a minute. Let us continue Handel on the News. It's Jennifer Jones-Lee and me, and Robert Durst took the stand in his own murder trial. Here's how the questioning began. You have the thing in front of you, right, Jen?
Yeah.
Do you want to be his attorney, Dick DeGuerin, or do you want to be Robert Durst?
I'd like to be Dick DeGuerin.
All right, go.
Bob, did you kill Susan Berman?
No.
Do you know who did?
No, I do not. There you go. That's how it
Wow.
went down in the courtroom.
That's theater.
It's so unusual for a defendant to take the stand ever, but I mean, it happens from time to time, but especially in a murder case with such high stakes for this guy. But I'm not sure what the thinking is, except a lot of the evidence is circumstantial. So what kind of cross-examination really is he opening himself up to?
You can't handle the truth.
And also, I wonder if he really wanted the jury to see how feeble Robert Durst is now.
Oh, he looked.
You know, that
bad.
you just look at it and you go,
Yeah.
because all you need is one juror to go, A, the evidence is all circumstantial, really, and B, oh, look at this guy, what's the point? What's the point of me as a juror sticking my neck out to vote for a conviction? If that's how a juror feels, and you only need one, right?
Yeah.
So it might be a winning strategy. I mean, this is the same lawyer that got a jury to believe that he killed his neighbor in Galveston in self-defense and then chopped up his body. He got a jury to buy that.
All right, a decades-old cold case murder has been solved in Newport Beach using a new crime forensics technique and genetic genealogy. So investigators say that hairs that were found on this boat where Judith Nesbitt was killed in 1980 have been linked to Kenneth Marks. And cops say it's the first time that a murder in the U.S. was able to be solved using an expanded DNA profile. This was taken from the hair, the shaft on the hair. Marks died in 1999 without ever being suspected of the crime. It always breaks my heart for the family.
Yeah. This is closure, though.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, it's not justice.
of course.
It's not justice, but it is closure, and for the police to be able to go to the family of the victim and say, you know, it comes very late. First of all, the beautiful part is we never gave up.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever, ever gave up. And to be able to say, at least we know who did it. That guy's dead now, but we know. I'm sure it brings a tiny, tiny little bit of comfort to the family.
And the families of other cold case victims, because they might think, hey, now maybe this genetic genealogy and this expanded DNA can be used in our case as well. if there is some evidence that they haven't been able to use just yet.
Yeah, it's not going to be very long before this kind of stuff doesn't even get reported because of how commonplace it is.
Yeah, good point.
But you don't see articles like, detective links fingerprints,
Right.
solve it, right? You don't hear about that because we go like, yeah, one day this will be the same thing, and there'll be another technology that'll be the hot technology. Okay, a management corporation real estate owned by a developer is suing the city of LA for $100 million, saying that the eviction moratorium has caused them astronomical losses. This concerns 12 buildings that GHP management manages, and they say they've already lost over $20 million in rental income, and they expect that to triple by the time the moratorium actually expires.
Wayne, do they have a case?
I don't know. This is a tough one, and I'll tell you why. The theory here has got to be that this is a taking. The Constitution says government cannot take your property without just compensation.
Correct.
So they want to say, because the government did not take the buildings.
No.
They want to say, by telling us we can't evict the tenants, it's the same thing as taking our property away from us. Generally, when people try that, they lose. Generally. Here, I don't know. If you said right now commit to a prediction, I would say since you're forcing me to do it, I don't think they're going to win.
Is because the scope of this is so big. $20 million. Does that make a difference?
No. You could, if you tell one guy who just has a duplex, you can't evict those people for 2 months.
That guy would have the same case.
It's the same exact legal question, yeah.
Oh, what's 183 feet long and it's been found near the California-Mexico border?
Hold on a second. Shut up, Morgan. All right, go ahead.
Well, apparently it's a tunnel that ICE found that they think is part of a big drug operation from Mexico to California. What else would it be for? It had electricity, ventilation, even had a rail system with a cart and an electric hoist, all the characteristics of any good drug tunnel. But I thought this was interesting. They said that the entrance, which is on the international border wall, has a 12 by 10 entrance, but it has no exit on the U.S. side of the border. Does that mean it wasn't complete yet?
Well, why would you build such a thing if you had no plans to have an exit on the U.S. side of the border?
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe it never had been used and was still in...
And that would be the last thing you'd want to do.
Right.
You wouldn't punch the whole tunnel through and then start putting in ventilation and rails, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think they caught it before it was done. What an undertaking. What a ravenous appetite for drugs we have in this country.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it also, it could have been smuggling people. There are other things you can smuggle through a tunnel like that.
Sure.
Let's get a news update from Jennifer Jones-Lee, and then we will finish up Handle on the News. It's KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, the military is taking new action, as we discussed earlier, because of a surge in COVID-19 cases. Troops are being told they need to be vaccinated by the middle of next month. Homeland Security is looking into a tunnel that we just talked about that was found along the U.S.-Mexico border. They say it was used to traffic drugs, and a real estate developer is suing Los Angeles for $100 million over the eviction ban. We'll take a look at your drive with BKFI in the Sky next.
You want to sell your house or condo fast and easy? Call Seller's Advantage. They will buy your home as is for cash. Really. With Seller's Advantage, there's no realtor fees or commissions, no escrow fees, no repairs needed, no open houses, no weird strangers walking through your home. They buy your house or condo for cash. Damon and Doug from Seller's Advantage just bought a house from one of our KFI listeners. The owner wanted to sell his house. He met with a couple of real estate agents, and then he went with Seller's Advantage. He compared the numbers, and Seller's Advantage was the choice. He ended up with the same money, same bottom line, but there were no repairs, no headaches, no open houses, and no hassle. He says working with Seller's Advantage was the easiest real estate transaction he's ever had. CRE number 0196-1658, sellersadvantage.com. Call now for a free quote. See what your house is worth. 888-321-AS-IS, 321 as is.
Staples Connect has amazing prices for everything on your back-to-school list. The TI-84 Plus CE graphing calculator is just $99.99. That's a $55 savings. In-store only offer ends 8/14, limit 2. Visit your local Staples store and be more than ready for school. Staples.
SoCal weather from KFI, mostly sunny today with highs from the low 70s to the upper 90s. This report is brought to you by Staples. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We're watching the 60.
Well, you betcha. We're over Diamond Bar right now. There's always a busy spot here. The merge at the West 60, South 57, and all that. And there was a small fire right in the middle of this interchange, or off the middle of the interchange, I should say. The small, it was described by the fire department as a warning fire, so you know what that's all about. But it's out. But it's just real slow now. The West 60 really jammed from the 71 off to a very slow start, and the South 57 coming out from Temple. Now, an early morning problem on the East 10. We're back over that now. This is East 10 past the 57. It's over to the shoulder. The backups are kind of going away. You can keep moving here. But what happened was there was a crash on that long transition from the South 57 to the East 10. So now that transition is kind of backed up. It's right at the end of the transition. You'll see once you finally get there, you'll keep moving. No problems there. Royal Heights or City Terrace, really, west end around Soto. We're getting word of possibly someone on the overpass again, so a little police activity. Be careful if you head that way. Try and keep your eyes front, you'll be okay. More on that coming up as well. Injured in an accident, visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Jeff Barr, KFI in the sky.
This report is sponsored by SmartMouth, the only 24-hour mouthwash with twice daily use. Opening back up. You check the news, you check with your friends, you check your mouth. But wait, did you check your breath? Get SmartMouth, the only mouthwash that provides 24 hours of fresh breath with just 2 rinses a day. Find SmartMouth in the mouthwash aisle at CVS, or get 20% off at smartmouth.com/radio.
Bill and Kathleen from American Vision Baths.
We've been installing new windows for over 20 years. Our customers have had such great experiences. We received lots of requests for other services, especially bathroom remodels.
So we decided to revolutionize the home improvement industry in a whole new way with American Vision Bath, while continuing to improve the lives of our employees.
My name is Dominic Bastinel. I'm the head of our bath division. The most rewarding part for me being at American Vision has been watching the bath department grow. It's just an incredible opportunity, and I'm very grateful for it.
It's just so simple.
Happy employees, happy customers.
For a limited time, get 20% off a shower conversion or no payments or interest for 18 months. Visit AmericanVisionBaths.com or call 888-675-2885. 888-675-2885. 888-675-2885. Some restrictions apply. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Call or see website for details. Offer expires 8/31/2021. CSLB number 778326.
At Sit and Sleep, we know that people are experts at all kinds of things, except one, how to shop for the right mattress.
Right, Dad. Shopping for a mattress isn't something you do every day, or even every 8 years.
That's why Sit and Sleep has mattress experts with an average of 10 years experience, and bed match technology that scientifically recommends just the right mattress for you.
So for expert advice, trust your sleep to Sit and Sleep.
You know, Drew, I'm an expert at other things.
Like what?
Screaming free!
If you have rats in your attic or walls, don't make the mistake of putting out poison or wasting money with a company that charges you monthly to check rat traps. Rat Proof. For a one-time fee, Rodent Stop will identify and seal all rat entry points, trap and remove all rats, sanitize your attic to remove any nasty viruses, and remove and replace all rat nest-infested attic insulation. Rodent Stop is so confident that they can stop your rat and mice problems that they provide a lifetime guarantee. Read all the 5-star reviews on Yelp. If you have rats or mice in your house or business, call Rodent Stop at 800-290-5343. 800-290-5343. We provide fast, friendly, and effective rodent control solutions throughout Southern California. Plus, our technicians are clean, friendly, and always on time. To stop the rodents, call Rodent Stop at 800-290-5343. Open 24 hours. Call 800-290-5343.
At Ralph's, fresh groceries are our thing, so we check your delivery order for freshness at every step from farm to store, and pick and pack every veggie in your free pickup order with care, because we treat your food the way we want ours to be treated. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Ralph's, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Get more ways ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Ralph's, fresh for everyone.
Spectrum Business called their competitors to see if any of them could beat Spectrum's Business Internet Plus phone offer for $69.98 per month with no added phone taxes or fees. Here are real quotes from the competition.
How are they pulling in no fees and taxes? That's madness.
I would 100% go with Spectrum.
Even the competition recommends Spectrum Business. Call 855-339-5344 and switch to Spectrum Business today.
Competitor quotes from actual phone conversations. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Call for details.
I love hats.
I like it. The good hat.
That's a horrible hat.
Big block lettering is very in for hats.
No.
It is.
No.
Well, you're not young.
Okay. All right. I don't know fashion anymore.
Anymore.
Jerry and Shannon.
Let's not relive the overalls of 1998.
Weekdays at 10 a.m.
Been a long time.
On KFI.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It is the Bill Handel Show. Bill at home now, out of the hospital after his heart valve replacement surgery. We'll see if he's available later to pop on the show and say hello. Let's finish up Handel on the news. Jennifer Jones-Lee and me and Prince Andrew now is being sued in connection with all of that terrible Jeffrey Epstein behavior. This is Virginia, is it Giuffre?
Yes.
Thank you. Who is suing Prince Andrew in Manhattan federal court, saying she was sexually assaulted when she was 17. He has denied all of this. He gave an interview to the BBC. This was like, the end of 2019 or so, and he came off sounding like a real jerk about it. But he claims that, some of the things she's saying can't be true. He's implying that they'll be able to prove that her story can't be true because of certain inconsistencies or assertions of fact that they can prove her wrong. But I don't know really what he has.
Remember
Although
when he
we're
did
going to
that?
find out now that there's a lawsuit.
Remember that terrible interview that he did?
Yeah.
And he said, I have no recollection of meeting that woman. Something to that effect. But recollection was the word that he used. And I thought, he's trying to do the whole plausible deniability with the, I don't ever remember meeting that woman.
Well, here's 15,000, I'm not saying this is true, by the way.
Yeah.
But here's 15,000 photos of you with her. He can still say, but I don't remember.
I mean, a million people.
I'm not a liar. Yeah, I'm not a liar, I just have a bad memory.
All right, the Free Britney movement had a setback yesterday after a judge requested Britney Spears' request to expedite her hearing related to the conservatorship. So she wanted this whole thing sped up. She wanted her dad out of there ASAP. But the judge apparently denied without prejudice her plan to reschedule a hearing. And so it looks like Jamie Spears is still going to be part of the team for a while longer.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a hearing set for September 29th.
She just wanted it sped up.
Right, and the judge said, we're fine with the schedule that we have. Oh, no. Bam Margera is suing everybody over getting kicked off the Jackass Forever movie. That movie has been filmed. It's in post-production. It's supposed to hit the theaters on October 22nd. He is suing, here we go, Paramount Pictures, MTV Networks, Johnny Knoxville, Jeff Tremaine, Spike Jonze, and a bunch of other people. And this all has to do with poor Bam having a lot of problems and the rest of the Jackass people making him sign a wellness agreement. You will basically stay sober and you will do what you're supposed to do, or else you can't be a part of Jackass projects. And I guess he couldn't do it. He had to be drug tested every day, sometimes more than one time a day. Some of them were scheduled, some of them were surprise. Any hour of the day or night, somebody could go, give us some pee. breathalyzer tests, urine tests, and he said, like, I couldn't even have a life. So, I don't know here about a case either.
And he also claims that he's getting help from a doctor specializing in bipolar disorder. So is he going to claim that he has some sort of health issue, and that's why he was drinking and that sort of thing?
Yeah, and also because one of the tests came back positive for Adderall, and he's saying, hey, I was prescribed Adderall to treat my psychiatric condition, and yet you used that to kick me out of this movie. The problem right now is it's impossible to know what's true or not true specifically.
Well, probably people my age would think of him as, or our age, I should say, would think of him as Molly Ringwald's dad. But Bob Ringwald has a whole life of his own. He's a jazz musician and happens to be the father of actress Molly Ringwald. He has died at the age of 80. This guy started taking piano lessons when he was 8. Then he added the guitar. Then he added the banjo. And then he was a longtime jazz musician. And he was in the Rhythmaires.
Yeah.
That was his first band.
Wasn't he like 13 or something?
Yeah. I love it. He grew a beard when he started in that group so that he could look older and start working at nightclubs.
He was also totally blind.
How amazing.
Yeah. I think of Bob Ringwald as the guy who used to ring me up when I would get a sandwich at the little cafeteria in the Federal Building. Because Molly Ringwald's parents ran that thing.
No way.
Yes. He was always there sitting at that cash register.
How
super
cool.
Nice, super nice guy.
That's very cool.
Yeah. Should we do one more?
Yeah, but I'm wondering, I think we should go to Barbie.
Barbie is being condemned because they came out with a group of Olympic-themed dolls to reflect the new sports, like karate, skateboarding, sport climbing, surfing, and baseball, softball. And there's 5 dolls and none of them are Asian. So they're getting banged for no Asian representation in their new line of Barbie dolls.
I think, this is not untrue. Yeah, there was not an Asian representation there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a toy company, aren't you always going to face, hey, you didn't come out with this, hey, you didn't come out with that? What if somebody in one of these different sports said, hey, you didn't represent our sport, or...
Yeah, but that's not as hot button, I think, as
right.
Where's the, how come no Asian representation here?
That's a quick fix, too. I mean, if you're a toy company.
Do you change one of the ones you already put out, or do you put out another one?
Additional one.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how they respond to this criticism. I mean, thank God up until this, Barbie has never been the subject of any controversy. All right. Let us get a news update from Jennifer Jonesley, and then when we come back, L.A. City and L.A. County are stroking their beards and scratching their noggins about various vaccine requirements. We'll see exactly what they're up to. It's KFI Am 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
We're not here to tell you what to think. We're here to give you the latest.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Charges filed. I'm Jennifer Jonesley, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. State Attorney General Rob Bonta says there's reason to believe a crime was committed when an off-duty LAPD officer shot and killed a man inside a Costco in Corona. Bonta has filed voluntary manslaughter charges against Sal Sanchez for the shooting death of 32-year-old Kenneth French, who is mentally disabled. In June of 2019, Sanchez says French attacked him from behind and knocked him to the floor. Sanchez said he was protecting his young son when he opened fire. Sanchez also injured French's parents. Sanchez was cleared by a grand jury but fired by the LAPD in 2020. COVID-19 hospitalizations in LA County have nearly doubled in the last 2 weeks.
And according to county health officials, almost everyone in the hospital with the virus is unvaccinated. As of yesterday, there were 1,503 people in a hospital with COVID-19. Back on Monday, July 26th, there were 745. Between May 1st and July 17th, 3,158 people were hospitalized in LA County, 92% of whom were not fully vaccinated. 346 people are now in the ICU. That's a 23% increase from just 2 weeks ago. As of Monday, 6 new deaths have been reported. Deaths are on a downward trend. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
The LA County Board of Supervisors is expected to consider a proposal for people to have to show proof of vaccination against COVID-19 to get into some indoor public spaces in unincorporated areas of the county. Supervisor Janice Hahn wrote the motion. She says because nearly 4 million people in LA County are unvaccinated and because COVID spreads more easily indoors, the board must consider if extra measures are necessary. Supervisors are due to review the motion today. Health officials are concerned about the number of kids in the U.S. who are getting sick with COVID-19. Dr. Imran Ali says there are telltale COVID symptoms parents should look out for.
If a child has a very dry cough, that's more leaning towards COVID. Also, diarrhea, stomach pain, that you don't see with the common cold. We're seeing that in COVID patients who are young.
Dr. Ali says another sign is loss of smell. A decades-old cold case murder has been solved in Newport Beach using a new crime forensic technique and genetic genealogy. Investigators say hairs found on a boat where Judith Nesbitt was killed in 1980 have linked to Kenneth Marks. Cop says it's the first time a murderer in the U.S. was able to be solved using an expanded DNA profile, which was taken from the hair shafts. Mark died in 1999 without ever being suspected of the crime. Lawmakers in the Senate are expected to give final approval for President Biden's trillion-dollar infrastructure plan later this morning. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the goal has been to pass the bill before lawmakers leave for their August recess.
It has taken quite a long time, and there have been detours and everything else, but this will do a whole lot of good for America.
If the infrastructure bill passes in the Senate, its next step will be the House. And a new 6,000-seat theater at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood will allow YouTubers to connect with fans in real life.
The sound inside the new YouTube theater is set up for an intimate fan experience. Inglewood developer and LA Rams owner Stan Kroenke says the venue is also designed for live streaming esports, concerts, and award shows.
Technologically advanced, extremely creative, and it ought to be a new standard in Los Angeles.
YouTuber MyFam says she loves the idea of engaging in real life with her more than 1.5 million followers.
I think it'll be great to have people come in real life and meet people that, you watch online all the time.
At SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Let's look at that drive on the 605.
All right, you betcha. We got a couple of followers here, and I hope you're one of them. Good morning. Thanks for letting us right along with you here. Southbound 605, don't tense up. It's still a pretty good trip, really. A little slow, kind of the normal stuff. A little slow between the 10 and the 60 going down towards Rose Hills. And then again, Washington down towards the I-5, but I think you'll be okay. Now, we were over kind of an early morning, long lane, probably in a bad spot. I was in Pomona, eastbound, 10 past 57. Gosh, all lanes were blocked there for a while. And then there was a new problem, or another problem, I should say, and this transition, I've done it so many times myself, it's like an e-ticket ride. South 57 to the East 10, right at the bottom of that ramp. So the slowest path right now, if you will, going through the interchange, is still South 57 to the East 10, but pretty much all lanes are open. Headed back into the San Fernando Valley has been a new problem reported by CHP West 101 at Haskell, just past the 405. That's always a busy spot. Backing things up from Van Nuys Boulevard. And in case you were continuing on the West 10 now, in towards downtown Los Angeles, a problem 10 Soda, we just flew over that. I did indeed see a little activity on the overpass, but don't you worry about it. The freeway's fine going all the way in. Injured in an accident, visit Superwoman, superlawyer.com, Jeff Barr, KFI in the sky.
Are you one of millions of people across the country thinking about retiring earlier than expected? Join us on Tuesday, August 17th at 3 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new virtual event for you called 9 Wealth Strategies. You will get our 9 strategies that can help protect your wealth and plan your income. Register for free at EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. Your wealth and ultimately your legacy face 3 risks: rising taxes, inflation, and healthcare costs. At our special virtual event called 9 Wealth Strategies, you'll get advice on how to help protect your wealth from these risks. Our advice is based on 30-plus years of experience and managing more than $270 billion. Please join us for this special virtual event, 9 Wealth Strategies, on Tuesday, August 17th at 3 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. See how to do 3 things: manage your wealth, minimize taxes, and plan your income in retirement. Go to EdelmanFinancialEngines.com to register for free. That's EdelmanFinancialEngines.com. From here forward.
Your KFI Financial Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow is up 71, S&P up 8, NASDAQ up 17, gold is $17.24 an ounce, oil is $67.70 a barrel, and the average price of a gallon of unleaded gas in California is $4.39.
The KFI Money Report is brought to you by Bay Alarm, now offering virtual security consultations using your mobile phone. Visit bayalarm.com to get protected today.
Mostly sunny today. Highs will range from the low to mid 70s at the beaches. Mid to upper 80s for Orange County and Metro LA. Will be in the 90s to right at 100 for the valleys in the IE, and there's a slight chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. Right now it's 64 in Dana Point and in Glendora, 70 in Mission Hills. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Good morning. This is the Bill Handel Show. Bill is out of the hospital at home recovering from heart valve replacement surgery. And we'll see if he's available a little bit later to pop on. Sometimes he is, sometimes he's not. Believe it or not, you might think, well, what else does he have to do? There's a lot of stuff you got to do when you're recovering from a big surgery. So we'll check it out. Now, the City of Los Angeles and the County of Los Angeles are scratching their noodles what to do about maybe requiring proof of vaccination to go into different places. Let's talk about the city first. LA City is considering what the LA Times calls a sweeping proposal to require proof of vaccination in order to get into all kinds of public spaces. Restaurants, bars, retail stores, gyms, spas, movie theaters, stadiums, concert venues. I don't see on the list churches or mosques or synagogues or temples, or am I missing? I don't want to leave out a place of worship for a particular religion. I'm doing the best I can. Probably because even they know that is too legally hot button to get into. They're going to consider this proposal tomorrow. How long would it take for there to actually be a requirement? Oh, man, could be a very long time. If they agree, they got to send it over to the city attorney. He's got to draft the ordinance. Then it comes back to the council. Then they, argue and bicker about little things. Maybe it goes back to the city attorney another couple of times. And then at some point it could be passed. Then immediately there's lawsuits about it. You might get an injunction against it right away for a while, But that's certainly what they're thinking about doing. How do you enforce it? How do you enforce that? I run what kind of business do you see me running, Jen?
A mountain bike business.
Oh, very good. I run a mountain bike shop. Don't bring your stupid road bikes here. Do not bring your beach cruisers to my bike shop. Mountain bikes only. So now there's a rule. If you want to come into my store, you got to show me that you had a vaccine. Well, who enforces it? Me? I'm just a guy who runs a bike shop. The kid that I employ to fix your bikes because he's a whiz, he's just some kid who fixes bikes. Do I have to hire a security guard? How do I enforce it? Here's the thing, and please, hear me. I am not agreeing with this or saying this is what should happen. The only real-world way that you have any chance at enforcing it is if you make violating it a felony. Which they're not going to do. Nobody's talking about making this a crime punishable as a felony. But you would have to pass a law that says refusal to show proof of vaccination is a felony. Why? Here's why. Because if it's an infraction or a misdemeanor, you can't even call the cops. they're not going to come. If it's a felony, they kind of have to come. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to come, because let's say they actually do this and they make it a felony. Can you imagine 911? If the system would blow up, it'd be a smoking, charred mess of wires and computer terminals because of everybody calling 911 and saying some guy here, is insisting on coming in and won't show me his vaccination. And there's not enough cops. You'd have to, quintuple the number of LAPD officers to have any shot at responding. So even the best hope for making it enforceable is not very good. And again, I will reiterate, I do not support making it a felony. I'm just trying to explain, if it's an infraction or a misdemeanor and you call the cops, they're not going to come, they don't have to come. That's not what they do. Misdemeanors, basically, pretty much they got to see it. Or you could, I guess if you're really a gutsy store owner, you could call the cops and say, I am making a citizen's arrest. Because then they have to come. Did you know that? Yeah, if you call the cops and say, I insist on making a citizen's arrest of this person, they have to come. They're not arresting the person. You're arresting the person, but they have to come and, transport the person.
Now you're telling me this when Handel's not here? Now you're giving me this information?
Citizen's arrest is extremely risky, man. You better, I would say, just never try. Because of the liability involved. Never mind the danger that could be, but the liability. Because if you do a citizen's arrest and then the person sues you, you do not have the same protections as a police officer. In any event, that's the only way that you give it any teeth. And I do believe this. If they were to do it, which I don't want them to do, if they were to do it, it wouldn't take that many arrests for the word to get out. You wouldn't have to be calling the police hundreds of times a day for months on end. You would need half a dozen high-profile arrests where somebody goes down for a felony, and then people would go, okay, it's not worth pushing against this requirement. But then look what we've done. We've created this felony. LA County, they are going to look at drafting a proposal that also would require vaccination to go into certain places. This is the old 2-week thing, right? Supervisor Janice Hahn said, let's agree to give 2 weeks for some people to make a report about what a policy like this might look like. They're also dealing with the other big question. How do you enforce it, but also just what system do you have to verify it? Never mind what do you do if somebody won't comply. How does somebody prove to your satisfaction that they've been vaccinated? In fact, a little bit later in the show, we're going to talk about this little bit of hysteria going on about fake COVID cards, because that's a concern too for some people. Jennifer Jones-Lee, please give us a news update, and then, oh man, I hate to even have to do this segment. Can I just tell you? It needs to be done. I hate to have to do it. Remember the thing in San Diego where the cop OD'd on fentanyl? Right. Because there was some powder on or in the trunk of a car? We got a problem with, gotta find the right word, bad reporting. We'll get into it. Give me a second to get my head together, because it's really... No, I know. It's something I don't want to have to do. But you know why I have to do it, right? Yes. And you'll all know why I have to do it when I do it. It's KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, going back to what Wayne was talking about with the fake ID cards, different story, but selling fake COVID vaccination cards is now a crime. The FBI warns violators could face 2 years in prison or a $5,000 fine. The huge fire in Northern California is now the largest single wildfire in California history. It's nearly a month old. It's burned over 482,000 acres in Butte, Plumas, Lassen, and Tehama counties. And the Colorado Rockies are confirming a racial slur was not shouted at a black player Sunday night The team says an investigation found a fan was trying to get the attention of the mascot while a Miami Marlins outfielder was at the plate. We'll take a look at your drive on the 101 and 405 with the KFI in the sky next.
Southern California is termite central. Why? Well, like you, they love the weather, they love the soil, and of course the houses are made out of wood. So you put all that together and you've got termites that love us. And they'll happily eat your house. So let me suggest protecting your house with a free home inspection from Pacific Coast Termite. Even if you don't know if you have termites, it's worthwhile. And if you do, they come and treat. They do it without tenting. You don't double bag your food, no pet sitting. You can even be home when they deal with those termites. Mention KFI, 10% off termite treatments, 2-year guarantee on all of their work. Call 800-PACIFIC, 800-PACIFIC. That's PacificCoastTermite.com. Call 800-PACIFIC.
Pacific Coast Termite kills termites.
The clean, friendly way.
Christina wants to give a shout out.
Thanks, Joe, for AIS. You saved me a ton of money.
Well, that's my first car insurance shout out. You must have saved a ton.
I saved over $1,000 a year with AIS.
1-800-777-4AIS.
SoCal weather from KFI, mostly sunny with highs low 70s to be right around 100. This report is brought to you by AIS Insurance. Let's take a look at that drive on the 101 and 405.
You betcha, boy, one of the busiest places in our little empire here. This and the East Tailgate interchange, but 405 101. Some good news. If you were listening earlier, I mentioned this that we were going to check it out, but it was 101 at Haskell, which is, boy, it's just a tough place just past the interchange. But the problem is clear. All lanes are open. So starting way back at the KFI studios, if you will, the westbound 134, it slows a little bit around Cahuenga going to the interchange. Really not too bad. The rest of the West 101 drive, now the 405, is looking real good. Now the 405 itself, it's still in fairly good shape, believe it or not. The really morning drive to going into West LA starts a little bit south of Sherman Way before